we're going to do things a little bit differently. So this time, because I keep mixing things up, Alakir has partitioned all of these out. What I didn't tell him is that we're going to pass out all of the rookies this time around. Because the problem with this year is that there are so many rookies. And normally what I do with rookies is I just dump them straight into B or C tier, right? I just dump them straight into the middle. B tier if I'm really feeling
and of
generous.
Course,
Otherwise, generally a new
like
player,
4
I'll
months
just
later and sends the whole EU
right?
army at me.
So what we'll do is we'll separate the rookies into their own slot.
And of course, Veteran
and we'll
retweets
rate all
it,
the
like,
rookies
4
against
months
each
later
other.
and sends the
That's
whole
what we'll
EU
do.
army at me.
So all the rookies will do it.
Here to hear my LEC opinions for this split laughing face.
Bloody hell. Alright, Brian Williams, thanks for the 29
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU
This
army
will be
at me.
IDC opinions for the split, and remember, it's always summer where we start feasting. There's always something. There's always something that happens at summer. Big Man and the Pro, thank you for the 16. I'm pretty sure the take of mine that will do the best aging is going to be the Mad Lions one. Because, I mean, it's now impossible to be doing anything but underrating Mad Lions for most people, since I've seen them go consistently 10th. A bunch of people showed me, I think it's the LFL stream, were doing their usual casters ranking and chat ranking, and they were giving like R for rookie to most of the rookies until they got to Mad Lions team, and then they just gave them all F. I was like, I don't know. Okay. Just fuck these guys in particular. I'm not quite sure what they did. But that seems to be the general thing right now. I can understand most people seeing a full rookie team and thinking this is bad. Because most people are following someone who is a ex-player that genuinely believes they're still a better prospect than a random rookie. And so they're not going to like rookies, right? But at most people have watched like 1 or 2 series from these guys at EU Masters, maybe. I have watched pretty much every game that Movistar have done. Was there any game I didn't watch? I think I streamed watching most of them as well. Especially players like Super, we've talked about for years at this point. Frescory has a whole ass like trajectory we can talk about. He was my most improved player for last year in the ERLs, because he did a really weird thing that not many players do, which is that most players have like really good hands at the start, and then they become less reliant on them over the course of years and become more of like a map player, you know, like Niski, right? Niski used to actually, it's a weird thing about it now, but he used to be known as like a really strong Irelia player and stuff like this, but he was quite thick, right? Nowadays, I'd consider him the polar opposite of that. I think he's a really, really smart player around the map. He even gets himself out of lane by himself, which is something Doinby doesn't do, or didn't do when I was watching it. But hands-wise, I mean, you guys have seen the team fights from last year, right? Frescory's done the opposite. He started as a really smart player around the map, and last year he decided to develop hands, which was just... I don't normally see this, so it was very noteworthy, so it ended up being my most improved player. And I also think with Mad, they're going to bypass a lot of the issues a lot of teams have. They already know how to work and develop with each other, which I think puts them in a really good spot. Despite all that, what I'm going to say to you guys is I think Mad are going to start well, then do worse in spring, and then do really well in summer. And that's the trajectory I think they're gonna do. I don't know if they'll do really well immediately from the first day, but I think their first split will surprise people. And then they'll get disappointed in spring, and then they'll get very surprised in summer. I think that's what they'll do. And that's because we've seen this kind of thing before. And that's just normally the trajectory that it does. And then I don't know how people are rating K-Corp. I don't know how I'm going to rate K-Corp. Yeah, I'm honestly going to make up my mind on K-Corp when we get there, to be honest. I'm going to be real with you. It's one of the weird scenarios where, like, the smartest tweet I've seen about K-Corp came from Foreign of all people, where he said Niski would be really good for K-Corp. And I fully agree. I actually, like, that would actually be perfect for them. They actually need Niski. Upset needs Niski, right? A lot of people need Niski. Like, Niski would actually be really good for K-Corp. That's not to say I think Sarkin is bad, but I think that team... Like, Bo and Upset need to be carried by Niski. But I'll call it that way. He's not going to call it that way, but I'll call it that way. They need to be carried from in the map by Nisqy. They do. That's actually a team where Nisqy would do well on. Unironically. Because who did Nisqy study for years and years to become the player he is today? He studied the same guy that tricked everybody into thinking Bo was a really good player. Okay? Alright? When Bo had that 10 streak, he was on Doinby's team. When I booted up those games finally to see where the fuck the hype had come from, if you were watching that stream, you'll remember immediately I was like, you fuckers lied to me. You know? Just Doinby's just there on my screen. Oh. Crisp is a huge part of it as well. The Crisp-Doinby interaction we could talk about for a while. But basically the map play is done for Bo. Right? On that team, the map play is done for you, is the point. And Nisqy has studied that. Nisqy is Crisp and Doinby in one, in the sense that Crisp would normally unlock Doinby for the rest of the map, whereas Nisqy just does it himself. Or did do it himself before. Like, I'm not going to pretend last year was great for Nisqy, but he can do it. Instructions unclear, sign Doinby instead. I mean, Stake will just think, let's go sign. I don't know. Like, when it comes to them, you have to talk about coaching, so I don't know. We'll get there eventually. Alright, let's just dump everybody into B tier from tops. And then we're going to have to pass out Marin. So you are going back here. We'll talk about you later. How many of you guys were watching when Odo v Cabochard was the rival? How many of you guys were watching when that was the rivalry, man? Barking hell. I hope they hate each other again. That's the thing. They haven't interacted with each other enough to continue to have a rivalry. Whereas back then, like, I'm telling you, I was on that team. Alright, Cabochard brought out the best in Oda 1 day, I'm telling you. Alright, how are we doing this then? So, if you're on my Discord, you'll know we did a poll, and Broken Blade won that poll, and was the best top laner. So, congrats to him. The funny one was Jungle, where Razork won, but it was like Razork had 10 votes, Yike had 9 votes, and Elyoya had 9 votes. And Yanko's had, like, it was a giga split. It was a giga split poll on that one. But Razork technically is the best, so. Alright. Do I even believe any of these guys deserve to go full S+? Wonder is the one I'm really curious about. Wonder's a much smarter player than I think he gets credit for, though I guess he'll probably get a lot of credit now. This is a really good pool of top laners, looking at it. Like, if I'm thinking about it, there's like a top 4 here, right? And then a split from there. And then it's about pick your poison here. I'm not sure about Oscar Rinin still, though. Because Oscar Rinin was the most improved player in the LEC for sure. That was also done on the Discord votes. But the final games he had were very shaky, right? I am very sure about Irrelevant. I think Irrelevant's phenomenal. And when it comes to my questions I have about Wonder, because Wonder just hasn't played in a while, do I put Wonder in counter-cess? That's a question, actually. Do I just go and put Wonder in counter-cess? Or do we have enough? Irrelevant was best top laner last summer? I think Cabochard, by the way, is very strong. In the ERLs, he was the best. Generally, when people ask me who the best players were, I would normally have to talk about top without talking about Cabo, because he was dominant. Oh, B-Man and the Pro, thank you so much for the 16 months. Okay, they're actually all really good, because I just remember Photon's still here, and Photon is actually good. And it's not like Sigenda's bad. Wait, this is really difficult. Wait! Okay. Is this our strongest
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
Wait, this is
Hot
actually
damn, we
2.
back.
Wait, this is so difficult. Nah, but this is like ADC at the start of last year, by the way. Where just none of them are bad, you know? Oh, man. Oh. Wait, this is actually really difficult. Okay, I have to close that Twitch, because I can't even see you just sub to me. Alright, let me see. Okay.
And of course, Veteran retweets it
Alright,
like
cool.
4
okay,
months
now
later.
Now everything is loaded. So
It's good to be back.
Atanax, thank you so much. Ztrig, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the 20 months, my man. Thank you so much. Oh, this is really difficult. Oh, fuck me. Do I even put anyone in S+? That's the thing. Wait, this isn't bad, by the way. This actually isn't bad the way it looks right now. Wait, what the fuck? This isn't bad, no? Is Cabo that good? Yes. I think Cabo's phenomenal. I think Cabo's actually phenomenal. I think he's really good. My question mark is Wonder. Wonder is my question mark. Can I S+ these? Am I willing to say Broken Blade plays enough tanks now? Is there anyone here you'd say is truly shit? Like, the worst performances came from Oscarinin, right? But he undeniably looked quite good by the end. Then right at the very end, he looked shit. Marwin? Okay, we don't count Marwin now. Marwin goes into the rookie column. I'm actually down for this. I don't think anyone ascends to Cobra Kai, but Jesus, there's like no one's bad. It just feels weird to have 3 S+ players, you know? That's the thing. It feels really weird to say 3 of them are S+. Especially Cabo just coming in immediately, right? But then if I did something like this, it's not that bad. But now I'm worried I'm underrating Wonder. I think you're overrating Cabo too much. Did you watch LFL for the last couple of years? Put only Cabo S+ to farm impressions. Dude, when we get to Bow and Upset, you know that those impressions farmed will be immediately undone. Alright? There's no point even attempting. Wonder with Cabo and S? I don't know. I don't know if I can confidently say that based on his performances at the end of summer. I don't know if I can confidently say it. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. It genuinely wouldn't surprise me if he was, but I don't know if I can say that. That's the thing. And to be clear, I don't think the gap between his performances then and Irrelevant and Photon were that big. Ugh. But I can't do like an expanded S tier, you know? Something like this could work. Something like this could work. Maybe. Nobody deserved S+. Yeah, if we go back to that,
4 months later,
then it goes back to this. If you go back to no one deserves
Let's go.
S+.
Back from Morocco
Because I
just
do
in
feel
time
like
for
there are
Tierlist.
still question marks on the upper echelon, even if I think no one is bad. Like, the floor is very high on top, but the ceiling isn't the highest. Like, no one reaches a Larson or Hans Sammer level in top, but nobody is at the bottom where they're having, like... I'm not gonna be too toxic, but... Irrelevant, really good, but chokes a little sometimes. I think Irrelevant's phenomenal, foundationally. But you could also say the same about Photon there, and there are enough unknowns about Wonder to put in there. Irrelevant is consistently better than all of the players I have him above, though. For sure. He is consistently better than Adam, Oscarinin, and Sagenda. I mean, watching him play in the ERLs was just mind-blowing to me, to be honest. Before he joined Misfits, it's like, how has no one brought this kid up to me, you know? That was really weird. I'm just worried about my Wonder Cabo assessments, more worried about Wonder than Cabo. With Cabo, I think I'm only vaguely worried that you guys are in my head. With Wonder, I just don't have enough info, you know? But I have enough to not put him in counter-assess. It wouldn't surprise me if he's S. I'm leaving it at this. Alright? The role has a high ceiling. How the fuck do I screenshot this? The role has a high floor, but a lower ceiling than some other roles. But there's no one you can truly say is bad. It's the ADC of this year, man. It's the ADC. By the way, what is the general sentiment about Razork Humanoid before we get there? Because normally I get chastised for my rating of them. But I saw Advian is in chat now, actually rated them high. So has it changed? Does the top tier mean they can compete internationally? The top tier, for me, normally means that there isn't a singular significant weakness that I can point to in the sense of, like, champ pool issue, right? Or Smart has no hands, or is very good at all-ins, but is very bad at judging when good all-ins are, right? So With Odo, for example, there are some scenarios where his judgment on all-ins is bad, and he just has very bad games at which fights he should be picking or not. That was a thing last year. I don't want to call it choking, but that is what it sometimes felt like. With Cabo Shard, he potentially has self-imposed champ pool issues as well as Broken Blade. I can't call them all-rounded pools, right? Whereas I wouldn't have any such issue with Hansama, for example, or Larson. Or if Caps is doing well, Caps, right? I mean, it's always like that. Okay. I am aware of the receptions. Oh yeah, I didn't fill out reject here. That's true. Should I re-upload it with reject here? Oh man. Is Chasey technically reject here? I don't think this matters. I don't think this matters. I apologize to everybody who was fired that I forgot about. All of Australis, by the way, is gone. Every single member of Australis is gone, including Kobe. Which is very sad, because Kobe, fuck me, he was a top 3 AD carry last split. He was a top 3 AD carry, but because his team didn't qualify to later stages, it wasn't talked about enough. But he was a top 3 AD carry last split. He was fucking insane. Every team fight from this guy is mental.
And of
Who's
course,
the rookie
Veteran
that I'm
retweets it like
demoting
4
here?
months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
Oft Sidon, you got rich, my man. Thank you so much for gifting 10 subs. And Fella
And of course,
Nation,
Veteran
thank
retweets
you
it like
for the
4 months later and sends his
35
whole
months.
EU
Hope you had a good
army
time
at
in
me.
Morocco. Jeonghoon's in LCK? Okay.
Like
Jeonghoon is the one man who escaped the prison. Congrats. Do we count Douglas? Okay.
And of course, Veteran
Oh
retweets it.
crap.
Like
Is
4
Douglas
months later
technically a
and sends his
rookie?
whole EU
By
army at me.
LEC rules, is Douglas a rookie? I need to know. By LEC rules.
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me. And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU
Really?
army at me.
Okay.
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
Oh, he is. I'm not sure I agree with that. Okay. Yeah, no.
And of
fuck
course,
it.
Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
I'm down. I'm down. Please rate him. Okay, for anyone who's joined later, we will rate the rookies, but this year,
And
we're
of
just going to
course,
rate the
Veteran
rookies
retweets
against
it, like,
each other.
4 months later and sends his whole EU
Alright?
army at me.
We're doing it different this year. Okay, we're doing it different. Like, there are too many
And of
rookies,
course,
so we're going to
Veteran
rate the rookies
retweets it,
against
like,
each other.
4 months
That's what
later
we're
and
gonna
sends his whole EU army at me.
do. Okay. So,
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
I mean, we can just get this out the way,
OMG,
no?
it's the most important event in the LEC year.
I mean, okay. So there's a clear
And of
top
course,
4.
Veteran retweets it.
The
Like,
rest of you
4
guys
months
can
later
fight
and
for
sends his
scraps.
whole EU army at me.
07.
Does this guy have a fat beard, or is this just shadow? I genuinely can't tell. What happened to Loco? He does crypto now. No? Dom's tweet. As a Frenchman myself, I'm conflicted between hating you for having Adams so low and loving you for having Cabo so high. Lamau. True. Actually, just confuse the French people by rating one high and one low every time. Razork S+, I agree. I agree. I'm just waiting to get killed for it, because every time I do this, I get killed for it. But that's what I was asking before. Has the general consensus finally shifted into a pro-Razork narrative? Because I felt alone in this for a while. El Yoya could have easily been the outright best. And he was for a while the outright best. It was basically a big fight between those two, with Yike coming in hot as the new big rookie, and Jankos juggling a bunch of spinning plates, trying desperately to make sure none of them land on the floor, and then being like, just get rid of Ruby, alright? And smashing that one and getting a new plate. And that was probably one of the best roster changes, I'm gonna be real. Like, Jankos is the fireman, right? So this guy plays jungle, this guy plays jungle, this guy plays jungle, and this guy plays 999 Nanny with every team that he has. But it is beautiful to watch. That's how I'm going to say it now, because normally what I call him is a reactive jungler. But when I say reactive, people seem to think I mean passive, when I mean literally the opposite. Because what Jankos does is he assesses the real threat, which is his own team, every game, every second, and he's there when you're about to fuck up, which is why he paired so well with Caps, why I thought he was a really good fit for that Heretics team, because Ruby and Evi were going to have problems, right? And you need a fireman to come in and put out the fires, and that's Jankos, right? Jankos' best champion should not be Elise, should not be Lee Sin. What it should be is that jungle Soraka ambulance build from Season 4, if you guys remember that shit, which could just zoom into any lane, thanks to the way the passive worked. That should be Jankos' best champion, but unfortunately, he wasn't cooking so hard in Season 4. He should be an Ivan player? No. No, he should not be an Ivan player. Because an Ivan player, okay, is very good at buffing up his players who are doing well and using the space he gives them in a good manner, right? Jankos can't do that because he is the zookeeper in with all of the monkeys. It's not happening, right? That's Ivan's a terrible champion. He needs to go Elise, he needs to go Lee, he needs to one-shot someone, he needs to go Trundle and just bonk people with a club over and over again because he has to do that, right? And it's laudable, but it's not the same thing as the complete map state jungling that Yike does, that Elyoya does, that Razork does, and this is often my biggest point of differentiation with people like Dom, because Dom is more of a Jankos kind of player. Then he is a Yike, Razork, Elyoya player. But I think there are fundamentally better styles of jungle. It's just if I was to put Yike on Jankos' team, it would be a worse fit, because everybody would collapse. Yike would have to do all of that work, even if it's less efficient, but he'd have to do it, and he would end up developing badly because he'd be learning jungle wrong, right? And then if you put him on another team, it wouldn't go so well. But Jankos is an old guy. He has experience in everything. He's not learning something now. He's just sat there like, again, really? The thing is, I can't put any of these guys on that tier. So Markoon is really close to being a Jankos kind of jungler. He's actually really close to it. But Jankos is obviously just the better one, right? Bo is better than Faker. Okay. You guys know what's happening with the Bo ranking, right? I mean, you guys know, right? Like, you're not sat here waiting for me to put him higher, right? That's not... Just to be clear, right, we are less delusional here. It's Bova for your impressions. Every year it's Bova. But then the point is we put it out there, and then at the end of... when it comes to summer, we go right back to it, and we laugh at everybody who was chatting shit about our rankings. Because we always get to. And then they forget we always get to do that. And then we have to run the whole gauntlet again. Every time. Shio could have been Yike. But Shio also had a lot of issues on his team where you need more of a Jankos guy. The chief issue was Adam. This has been pointed out by other people. This is one where I'm not alone on it, but I will be alone in bringing it up again. This guy did have to play Fireman, because whereas people like Adam could get fed, they could only do it by walking through the fire and putting their feet on the coals, but they did not know how to apply the pressure properly. So they really needed the ambulance to get them all the way through there. But if they got there, you know, it could go well, because suddenly you're on like a one-item Olaf or something like this, right? But the wave states that he kept preparing needed jungler to be there, exposed him dramatically, and there were plenty of times where Shio got the blame for it, when it's really Shio would have to jungle badly to defend this, and the rest of the map would be exposed over it, and indeed the rest of the map was exposed for it many times. This led to bot lane issues occasionally, right? This sometimes led to mid lane issues, right? I think Nut got better because the map state was so bad a lot that he had to become a better mid laner to compensate for that, right? So I think Shio is underrated because of that. I think he got a lot of blame that he didn't need to get, you know? That's at least where I am with it right now. So I don't want to rate him so low. I mean, I don't know if people like Neoticus are, like, baiting. But it seems to be a very real opinion that a lot of people have, that Bo is going to be really sick this year. Peach is overrated. So, Shio is underrated, and Peach is overrated. There were so many things Peach did wrong that, like, Abadage or Oloamne or anyone else on this team just made up for. And it was kind of mental to me that people were starting to hype this guy up. Who overrates Peach? You would be very surprised. Okay, maybe this hasn't actually come out in a public way, but behind the scenes, people keep trying to argue to me that Peach was actually good. So, I'm not going to get chastised, we're all good in the hood. Yike for sure best, disagree. Yike will eventually be Razork. But not now. I do think Marcoon is better than Shio. But not so significantly better that I reduce the tiers. Dude, that's insane. Like, we actually finally don't have Malrung anymore. By the way, Advian, I can't just recreate your tier list, okay? I can't just recreate it. I think Razork had the best performance overall over the course of the year. At least he was peaking the best at the end. I think Yike could be, for sure. I need to see him in more scenarios, but I am a big Yike fan. I am a huge Yike fan. But for me... Oh, also, I have a weird thing here. So, S+, generally, you need to have been S tier consistently for a number of splits before I put you on S+, by the way. That's always been a thing. So, Yike, it can't even really qualify. He would go up to S+ the fastest out of anyone except, like... There was one guy that I put up S+, like, almost insta. Fuck. But, yeah. What's the criteria for Cobra Kai tier? So, if to get to S+, you have to be better than S and have been at an S level for a while. Cobra Kai tier is S+, but that. So, Caps has been Cobra Kai tier before, Reckless has been Cobra Kai tier before, and I think that's it. I actually think that's it. I think I've only ever given it to 2 people, no? Yeah, I think it was Targamas. Did I give it to Nuke Duck at one point? It wouldn't surprise me if I gave it to Hans. Alright, time for the next worst tier list of all time. According to Fnatic Banjo.
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at
I
me.
definitely respect putting like
58 months in the army. My cue of the day. Wash
Elioya.
Elioya that bad last year like Broxa said on broadcast.
I don't know what Brox said on broadcast. I do think Ike needs more defenders. I'm not trashing him by not putting him on S+ though. I'm ending this with bow round 2 because fuck it, it's bow round 2. And now I'll just thank the subs before moving on to mid. There you go. Harry, thank you so much for the 56 months, Jesus Christ. Question of the day, was Elioya that bad last year, like Broxer said? Don't know what Broxer said on broadcast about him being bad, but he was not bad. What? Wait, what? Okay, I definitely don't think there's a narrative that he was bad last year. Like, what? There was, like, I'm sorry, but Mad Lion's spring split was Kazi and Elioya dragging their limp corpse across the finish line. More or less. Barely. Like, that's just not... That's... Okay. I don't agree. No, the Chasey thing was so delusional, by the way. Chasey had one series on Jace where he did alright. You know what happened that series? The same thing that happened when everyone started giga overrating Armut. Jungle support, moved to top lane, free-manned it, Jace gets mega fed off of it. Wow, Jace one-shots when he's fed. Amazing. One series. A week before that, everyone was making fun of Chasey. A week after, people were rating him the best top lane in the split. The same people who were making fun of him. It's the same delusion from the same fucking team. Like, we had this whole thing with Armut. It's literally the same thing again. And then everybody was a massive Pikachu face when Chasey sucked cock the first week of the next split. Like what? Like what, bro? Not even Mad thinks he was good at this point. Like, come on, man. How are we still having this talk? It's just so mental. They said that after one series, Advian. Before that series, go check what they were saying on broadcast about him. My god. They all changed their mind off one series, and then the first few weeks of the next split happen, and they're all like, wow, why is he performing so much worse than last split? He's not! He's just looking 3-man ganks on Jace perma. Fuck, man. God. Okay. It's the same story, though. It's the same story as Hirit as well. It's the same, like, it's the same thing. And people keep falling for it. And I've done this for 10 years now. And I just wish that you guys were wrong in a different way to before. That's the thing. I wish it was a different way. Because that would be interesting. Instead I have to have the same argument. Because the problem is my counter arguments are just exact same ones that have been there for 2 different top laners before. Fuck, man. More than that, I think. Okay, so this one's gonna be interesting. Wow, why are you so happy? Holy shit. God, I want to rate Sarkin compared to the other mids, but I'm committed to this now, aren't I? I'm committed to this. Wait, are the replies on the top lane tweet against Caro? I've rarely seen you miss with the tier list these couple past years, so I am assuming some kind of interaction bait on this one. Some of it makes sense, but that is insane praise for Cabo. The fuck? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think any of these guys ever go back to my tier lists at the end of the split. Anyway. Sarkin doesn't count. Actually, that's true. Does he not count? Does he actually not count? Fuck. Oh, okay. You are back, baby. You are back. Can you guys make distinctive jerseys again? If you must all be blue, okay, fine. But please make the top part of your jersey distinct, baby. Please. Please, please, please. Which one of these is the Giants? Okay, this is Jackie's, right? Yeah, because that's Nuck. That's Sarkin. This has to be Koi. Rogue. No. Come on, man. Like, this has... Like, this... Okay. What? Why is BDS blue? I don't know! Why is everyone blue? Fourth is first. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're good. This is... Why is everyone blue now? They're blue or black. They're blue or black. Guys, did you know that EG's official color was not black? It was midnight blue. Now everything is blue or black. Except for SK. Alright? Like, congratulations. Everyone congratulate SK Gaming. Alright? Thank you, guys. I genuinely appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. Alright? I can always tell. I can always tell. Alright? Where do you rate Marwin down? We'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end. For what? Having the worst jersey? True. Yeah, dude. Fnatic have my favorite color. My favorite color is orange. Why haven't Fnatic just got an orange? Like, why is it black? I don't know, man. These are so undistinctive. Okay. So the question is... Okay, so first off, smack. The question is, how much hate do I harbor for Caps for losing me so much money? Also. My top two are non-negotiable. Already bad list. Larson was the best mid laner. This is not negotiable. Larson was genuinely just the best. But he has the same problem Kobe has, which is that his team did not qualify to later stages. So people just forget how good he was. It's that simple. Larson was the best though. If you do any kind of review of all of the mid laners, Larson was making the best decisions, the best mechanics, the best everything, more consistently than everyone else. He was the best. He deserved more games, but he was the best. Now, if you want to talk about consistency, Caps. The only reason I'm not smacking Caps straight into D tier is because I like his dad. And also because he's just not worse than a lot of the players here. His dad is the GOAT. I mean, if we had a dad tier list, Cap's dad wins. I mean, Nuck really improved. This is a difficult one, though. This is... Okay, it gets so difficult here. It actually gets very difficult. Actually, it doesn't get that difficult. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. It doesn't get that difficult, but now it's... Okay. Fuck. If it wasn't a tier list and it was just a numbered list, it's easier, actually. Wait, why did I put you guys in can't assess? Holy shit, I can assess you. I'll assess you later. Kenzo. That was 8 years ago. Okay, it was 7 years ago, but still. People think Captors 2019? Yeah. If I did a numbered list, it would probably just go Larson, Humanoid, Caps, VTO. Oh! A French person. Maybe something like... Nah, it feels bad
And of
putting
course,
Nut
Veteran
down.
retweets it like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
Okay, this is hard. So Sarkin improved a lot. Go back 2 years ago and I don't think he's a good laner. But go back last year and I think he's a good laner. Go back last year. And Niski, my man. We had some incidents, okay? Hey, Hume, I know over caps for sure. Wait, did we watch a different Caps at Worlds? I'm really curious here. Is Larson Cobra Kaiable? Yeah. Honestly, yeah. If he keeps it up this split, yes. Do we watch a different humanoid? We watch the same humanoid. I'm just smarter than you. Dude, this is actually a very difficult one. Okay. My instinct...
And of course, Veteran retweets it
Nah.
4 months later and sends
Do I
his
say
EU army
Perks
at me.
is the worst?
Are we going to make some money again this split?
Man, this is mental. I mean, there's a world where I do something... That's not bad. Now, I have an issue, though, with having VTO that high. So my issue with VTO is that his best games came on a champion that I don't think counts. I don't think this is that bad. But then the controversy is Niski being this high. Okay, how bad is my memory of Niski? And not in terms of how poorly do I remember it, in terms of how bad is he in my memory banks. Man, that Worlds game he could have carried, man. How is Larson being mid/good makes him S+? How? I don't. You must rephrase the question. I mean, being a mid laner and being good is a good start to get you to S+, so I'm not... For his entire career, Larson was doing decent, no more than that. I completely disagree. Larson... I mean, obviously I disagree on that premise. So. Can you... Okay, actually, you know what? Rayashino, can you tell me a lane Larson lost last year? Does any actually come to mind? Just type. Just type the first game that comes to mind. What lane did Larson lose? Like, boom. You're spending a long time typing. Okay, you can't think of one though, can you? You can't think of one. Right? Can you actually think of one? Now think about a jungle Malrung lost. Or a lane Sigenda lost. or a lane their 2v2 bot got destroyed in. You can think of that, and yet you can never think of Larssen losing mid. Now, I'm not saying that's good analysis. I'm saying, in your own head, if you're honest with yourself, this guy is much more than decent, and much more than good, if you're honest with yourself. I remember that game, because we went over that game on stream for Lauren. I remember that game. Do you want me to go over it again after? I'll go over it between games, because I remember that. I mean, but you see where the goalposts have gone now, right? Where Shino? Like, you see where that goalpost has gone, right? Immediately, when you're more introspective about it. I think if you keep going through these kinds of thought processes, you'll argue yourself into Larssen being better. You never want to see him over Caps? Do you guys you guys must not gamble. Because if you gambled, Caps lost you so much money last year. I'm not saying. You guys must not have an emotional connection to the times Caps inted. Because, my god. This feels weird to me. That might not be bad. That switch might not be bad. Emotions are factored into it. Emotions, so when I say that you don't have that emotional memory, it's because memories are literally made by emotions, right? So what I'm saying is that you don't remember Caps inting because you had no emotional response to it, so it didn't end up in your memory banks. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you will emotionally feel like he's bad. I'm saying you don't have any memory of it. Memories are made by emotions. You don't logically create memories. VTO better than Nuck? Yeah, for sure. Well, not so significantly that I'd put them on different tiers. Not so significantly. I'd say VTO is better than Nuck. But obviously I'm just putting them all on the same tier. Has VTO laning gotten better? It's not his laning that I take dramatic issue with. It's his map rotations in the laning phase. Or his map rotations in general. I think he's a liability on the map still. Those are the aspects he needs to improve on. He didn't improve above Caps Humanoid last. Follow me, cheers for the follow. Alright. I don't know, man. It's just okay. Okay, but the Abadage one. Can someone make it make sense to me? Can someone make it make sense to me that Abadage's gone? Please. Like, can someone make it make sense? He was doing so well. Is Abadage French? Oh. Oh, he's... I was gonna say, like, why did that guy say French? Like... Wasn't the Chimp CIA book supposed to come out? The Chimp CIA book's being out for half a year, dude. I have the Chimp CIA book. Alright. This is gonna be... Okay, I can now tell that this is gonna be the controversial one. Yeah. Larssen is the best. Fucking go wherever, man. In-game. Larssen is the best. I'm sorry. He is. Suffers from the same issue Kobe does. Their teams didn't make it further, so recency bias applies heavily. Had some stinkers last season, but apparently only I remember that. I don't know why I apologize for Larssen being the best, but he is the best. What's this guy saying? On form, though humanoid is the best, and even you know that. Yeah, I know that, but he is not on form as often as Larson is. It's kind of simple, no? It's crazy people call Larson the Mage Bay his most iconic games on Silas and LeBlanc. I think his most iconic games on Akali. But I think his best game is on Azir. His best game is that Azir 12-0-0 where he had 100% of the kills and was just doing literally everything. That was one of the most mental games. That wasn't last year. That was one of the most mental games. Last was the best. I don't know. I don't... That shouldn't be controversial, but recency bias and your favorite streamers just cloud everything. If last one was more marketable, there would be no argument here. It's that simple. When did Hans hire a stylist? Can we have the duck this year? Fucking... I think, yeah. Okay. I mean, the opening salvos are really easy for me, right? Like, it's these two guys, for sure. Then... I mean, it should be Kobe. It's... Crowny I can understand a bit more. Okay? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Crowny's summer split was comparable to his spring. But Kobe, man. Kobe, man. He was so good. He was top 3, man. Oh, degree. I remember Handsome running it was. Yep. I remember that too. I also remember Kazi running it in regular split. They're like, they have both had stonkers, right? I remember Kazi getting caught on Ezreal going all the way up in mid lane. Like, they have both had those kinds of things. So I'm not differentiating him against someone who hasn't done that, right? So which player do you let Kobe play? Instead of Upset, instead of a lot of these guys. I don't know, like, he's better than everyone that isn't these two. If you placed any of these players with Kobe, I wouldn't blame you. No idea how to put the game time on the screen. Any tips? I cut out a part of the screen that has the timer and just show that. That's what I do. Other people use a stopwatch, but Riot LPP told me specifically I'm fine to do it the way I'm doing it. So I've just always done it that way. Hans lost NRG bot. That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true there. I wanna flame Yike, but that's not entirely true. Alright. The next phase, first off, I don't get why you get Ice or Upset over Kobe. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know why BDS are blue! I can't assess Ice. I can't. Ethan can't assess. Job done. I haven't watched this game. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna pretend. Oh, wait, sorry. You need to be rookied later. That's a comfortable 8 here, no? Hey, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. Honestly. Honestly, I'm not sure I would change it. This ain't bad, no? These guys are at 8 here, no? Are any of us disagreeing on that? There was the first half of Summer Split, Patrick was legit the best AD. Like, that's not the first time I feel like I've said that either. There's, like, obviously he was not by the end, but... Noah A I am actually fine with disagreeing on that. I'm actually fine with that. But then I'd have to do something like this, and now it all gets fucked. That's the thing. It all gets fucked. Because if I drag Noah down, it's like, okay... But if I'm punishing him for his ints on Aphelios in those Yumi games and shit, and basically anytime Trimby couldn't just set him up 100%, then I have to punish Flackid a bit too, no? But then it's like, I can't have Patrick just solo A tier. So now I have to, okay, now we have no A tier, you know? Exakick's really good. He hasn't shown it. I think you could maybe make this argument. And then the question is, man, do I really think Patrick's top 3 though? Like, because it's like, if I did this, then Patrick's just top 3, right? Now, top 4, I'm down. Do I think Flackid is better than Comp? That feels wrong to me. Let me think about this. You're speedrunning, a KC fan sending you a picture of your... Oh, yeah, right, because of the upset pro stuff. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, this may be comfortable. Wait, how... No. Dude, why is my memory of Comp so... Wait, it's because Comp... I mean, I don't know. But was that Comp or was that... I mean, I love you, Adrian, but was that Comp or was that you? Fuck. Fuck! Okay. Wait, you two are giving me a lot of problems right now. It was Malrung to be... I mean, Malrung left a lot of holes open. That is true. Like, I think maybe I'm fine with this. I will say the BNA tiers are the hardest here. 4 minutes for support and rookies? Okay. 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 You guys, let's talk honestly about how this is going to play out. Let's talk honestly, okay? It is a first day of LEC, already high likelihood of delays, alright? It is the first day in a new studio, in a new building, with entirely new setups based around co-streaming and stuff like this. There is no way we're not staring at a Kit Kat ad for 20 minutes, okay? I'm on time, alright? And production in Ireland. There's no way that the games are starting on time. Come on. There's no way. Yike S and Caps A is just disrespect. Caps gave Yike an LEC career?
And of course, Veteran retweets it
Bro.
like 4 months later and sends his whole EU army at me.
Caps ALARSSENSXDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDDD.
The end of that one sounded like your mum when I asked her what she wants the most. Ugh. Bot lane. Okay. Spent a lot of time switching Flackid and Comp. Wouldn't surprise me if B's move to A. It was just hard to assess at this immediate moment. Some of those later games, definitely not it. Upset had a bad season, Cope, Seed, etc. Oh, that's the limit. There you go. Supposed to move definitely. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, who performed worse than him last year? Who performed worse than him last year? Like, genuinely, like, who performed worse than him last year? I would love to know. Like, we're beyond the point where we're talking about map play, where we're talking about laning. The bro wasn't even pressing buttons on time. Like, I'm sorry, but we're beyond the pale in this one. It is delusion at this point. It is just delusion. I don't know, man. I'll see you at the end of the split, alright? If this is where I lost you. Like, you guys understand where we were at, right? Like, do you actually, like, go watch the games. Go watch the games, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the rationale would be at this point. They changed one player and went from winning regular split. I mean, yeah, I mean, no one wants to talk about it, but yeah, that literally happened. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I already know that that's the one where most people will take issue. Although, apparently Larson is a really controversial guy to praise. which is kind of weird. Kaiser managed to stay in the game. Hilly managed to stay in the game. We need to put you here. We'll go back to you later. I only saw his Worlds games. I only saw the Worlds games. I can't. I'm gonna be honest. I can't. Okay? I also... You think I watched that?
Veteran retweets it, like,
you think I watched that?
and sends his whole EU army
Come on.
at me.
RW Quats, my man, thank you so much for the 18 months. And Tenki, thank you so much for the 9 months. Oh, it's you whose mum I flamed. Okay. Yes, Capsay Larsones. And Zolas. Marketing works, guys. Marketing works. You don't watch Korean 5th Division games? Wasn't Jun in LCK? Someone said that Jun actually played in LCK. I don't know if that's true. I spend all my time watching the top regions that actually matter, like LEC, Prime League, LFL, LVP, Arabian League, NLC, which they for some weird reason pay me to do. Sometimes Ultra Liga, Italian League. Okay, I didn't watch Portugal. I didn't watch Prime League. Ignite is not S. Thank you. That narrows it down. Here's an LCK 10th. Oh yeah. John isn't in Rookie, he's in Can't Assess, because I haven't watched his games. Oh no, Ed. What server? EU West. They just play with 70 ping. Okay. Go.
And of course, Veteran retweets it like 4 months
Labov
later.
had a good year.
EU army at me.
Labov had a very good
We
year.
back.
Okay, Targamas, my man. I mean, your time on Excel, you are clearly phoning it in. I don't want to give up on him, but he was phoning it in. But if you want to talk about phoning it in, this is the guy they should have replaced. They should have replaced Kaiser. Okay? That guy was awful in winter, and he continued to not be good. Now, I hope that similar to Targamas, it's an environmental thing. That's where I hope. Okay? Are they delayed on stage? Because I'm looking, and I ain't seeing a draft starting. Alright? That's all I'm saying. Alright? Okay, draft is actually just started. Right as I said that. It's fine. They'll do the draft, right? They'll do the draft, and then one of the computers will crash. Alright? And they'll have to redo it. Or they'll start the game, and someone has their Hui porn skin on from, like, skin spotlights or something, and they'll have to reset the whole thing, and they'll add DRM to League afterwards. If you get that reference, then respect. Is Dost a new Jack Troll? Well, I mean, no. Well, actually, maybe. I was about to say he's not as big of a dick, but that's actually false. What I can say for sure is that DOS is the worst of all of these. Okay? And then the question is, like, how hard do I punish him for his split? How high do I rate Hilly for the moments where he was carrying? Honestly, I don't know. Hilly had a really good split overall. That doesn't look bad. Wait, that actually don't look bad. Feet picks? I mean. If you do something, you have to commit.